Hello, and welcome to this overview of the Horsemen Trilogy historical romance book series by Mary Balogh. I'm Olivia, your new favorite resource for book recommendations you can easily screenshot, and you're watching Random Olive Reads. So, first up is Indiscreet, and this one is about Rex, who is a Viscount, riding with his friends to visit his identical twin brother for a house party. And on the way, he kind of makes eye contact with a woman in the village. Now, his sister in law tries to set him up with her own sister, but Rex is really more interested in the widow that he saw when he was riding through town, and her name is Catherine. Now, Catherine finds Rex attractive, but she rejects his advances. It's not enough to quell the town gossips, though. Rex and Catherine somehow find themselves mired in scandal, especially Catherine with her mysterious past of like how she became a widow and things like that. So it looks like Rex's days of debauchery are over as he tries to do the honorable thing and propose marriage. Plus, we and Rex will eventually learn about Catherine's kind of heartbreaking secrets after one of Rex's friends recognizes Catherine when they're in London. So, this series is named the Horseman Trilogy because of the group of four gentleman friends have been dubbed the Four Horsemen of the Apocalypse during the war. There's only 3 books, so we'll find out what happens along the way. Book 2 is Unforgiven, and so we barely meet Kenneth, who is an earl in the previous book before he has to like scurry home for some reason. And so the events of this book overlap the timeline of the events in the previous one. So at some point, Kenneth decides to return home for the first time in 8 years to take control of his estate after the war. And on his first day back, he runs into Maura, who is his neighbor, and with whom he has had a tumultuous past. They're neighbors, their families have hated each other, and when they were younger, they were secretly in a relationship until it ended for whatever mysterious reasons we'll find out later in the book. So, Maura is now betrothed to a distant cousin and the owner of her family's estate, and that guy has like not been in the drama at all, so he wants to make nice with Kenneth, the neighbor, and end the feud between the families. So it's incredibly awkward all the way around. And even though Kenneth and Maura wanted to avoid each other, they're kind of thrown together anyway and spend a lot of time just arguing. They never quite just communicate about their issues. At some point, there's a snowstorm. These two get stuck together. Somehow she ends up pregnant and they have to get married. So this book has kind of all the terrible communication, miscommunication, not telling the truth, hiding their true feelings, pretty much throughout the entire book. It's kind of just sad to read, but hey, if you're into the snowstorm trope, this one has it. Lastly, we have Irresistible, which is book 3. We have Sophia, who is a war widow. She's been living quietly in London for the past few years, but now is sort of thrust into society events as her niece joins the marriage mart. Nathaniel has spent the last 2 years at his country home and is back in London this year to shepherd his sister and cousin through the marriage mart as well. Hoping to end his sort of 2 year period of celibacy, he wants to find some female companionship. Now, Sophia and Nathaniel were acquaintances in the war where Sophia was following her husband while he was there. When they meet again, they're clearly attracted to each other and decide on a friends with benefits arrangement. In the background, though, Sophia is being blackmailed by a shady acquaintance over some mysterious misdeeds of her late husband. In this one, we also get the side story with the fourth horseman, who apparently doesn't even get a book on his own. So, having read this series a long time ago, I don't actually remember a lot of the details. I'm the type of reader who likes to finish all of an author's backlist, so I was going to read this series regardless. It was not super memorable for me, but I do enjoy the way that Balogh writes characters that are willing to defend their partners in all circumstances. That's sort of what happens in book 1 and book 3. There's sort of this kind of grand gesture and protectiveness. Book 2 was kind of a wash. But anyway, that's the Horseman trilogy. Thanks so much for watching this video. Links to these books are in the description box. Like and subscribe so you don't miss future videos, and you can follow me on Instagram at randomolive.